All right. Dirty Sports episode 779. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host, live from Naples, Florida, Joey No Chill Prano.
Hello, Andy. We are post-show here on a Wednesday night in Naples, Florida, or what I refer to on stage tonight as God's waiting room.
Lots of old people.
This is the when you're on the highway and it's like last exit for gas. This is last exit for breathing for a lot of people.
Hey man, they're going to the comedy club to get those last laughs in.
Yeah. I think the comedy club here, really nice club, very well produced. You know what I mean? Lots of good lights. Sometimes when they turn those bright lights on, on the stage lights, I think a couple of people think it's their time.
Yeah.
People are like, that's it. This is the light I've been hearing about. I said to the crowd before the show tonight, it's like, usually when I do well, I'm like, thanks for coming. Come back to see us again soon. I was like, tonight, I'm just going to say that to half of you because I don't think the other half's making it to my next tour stop.
Was there any young people in the crowd?
Tonight was a lot younger than last night. Last night was like, I was like, are you guys, is Eddie Ift big in the senior community?
Well, I'm surprised old people go out on like a Tuesday and Wednesday night.
I know. And shout out to Off the Hook Comedy Club for even doing Tuesday, Wednesday shows and doing a great job getting people in the room. And also shout out to the Dirtballs. A couple Dirtballs came tonight. And then also apparently a couple Dirtballs came last night. And then they messaged me after the fact and were like, we were there. Wish we had gotten a picture. Let me just say right up front, let me start the show with a plug.
Classic Dirtball move.
Dirtballs, you can message me before the show and tell me that you're coming and tell me that, like, hey, we wanted to buy you a Miller Lite. Well, tell me that before the show. Otherwise, I'm going to sit in the green room waiting for the club to disperse. So Dirtballs, this doesn't go for all fans, but you guys especially. Feel free to let me know that you're coming to the show in advance. If you want to like get a picture or you want to have a beer together or you want to, talk about the Ruther curse, whatever you guys want to do, I'm available. Just let me know you're coming because I hate it when I find out I missed a Dirtball. Sometimes you regret meeting Dirtballs, certain ones, but you never know until you meet them. And I regret not meeting some. So guys, don't wait until after you've gotten back in your car all stoned or whatever the fuck you are with your buddy. And you're like, we're driving back to fucking, I forget where they said they were going, Bradenton or whatever. But just wanted to say what's up. Please say what's up before the show, and then I'll come out and say hello. I don't think we have any Dirtballs in Key West, but if we do, we'll be there tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday at Comedy Key West. So if you're coming, message me beforehand.
That'll be a young crowd.
Be a young crowd. Eddie and I have a shout out to Enterprise Dirtball CT, Hall of Fame Dirtball, lifelong Seattle Kraken fan, hooking it up. But Eddie and I have a Jeep Wrangler. Top comes down.
Oh boy.
The two of us rolling into Key West in a top-down Wrangler. I was like, Eddie, I'm making you wear one of the floral polo shirts I have. And I'm making you wear one of the bucket hats I have. And we're going to ride into Key West together like gay icons.
Isn't that one of the reality hit shows on Netflix?
Is it what? What's it about?
Wasn't there one about like the Key West, or was there a Key West real?
Oh, there was
kind of like a Real World.
I'm not sure if there was a Key West Real World, but wasn't there that show? Did you watch it? That show with the guy from Friday Night Lights? That was in the Keys on Netflix. I watched a couple seasons and then I bailed.
Maybe I'm thinking of Outer Banks.
Yeah, Outer Banks is big. That's what the kids.
That's a reality show.
I've never been to Outer Banks. Isn't a reality show.
That's
Outer
a real
Banks,
show.
That's a real show. It's
You
like
can
the new.
see.
It's like the new Dawson's Creek, I think.
That's where I'm at right now. I don't watch any of this shit.
And yeah, but I know Key West, lots of gays, and I'm super excited for it.
That means it'll be good food and everything will be clean.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've talked about this. Like, talk about gentrification. I'm all for gayification. Just take like the worst area of a city. Like, if you just flooded Southside Chicago,
that's Hell's Kitchen in New York. Hell's Kitchen is super gay now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you just flooded Southside Chicago with a bunch of gay dudes, there wouldn't be crime anymore. I'm convinced. They would just make everything nice, and everybody would just want to party and do Molly and fuck.
Yeah. Ever since the gays moved into Hell's Kitchen, they renamed it Hal's Kitchen, and Hal's like, "Hey, what's up? What can I get you?" I'm just like making stuff. I'm just like baking or, broiling or basting. Like, I'm down to like make you whatever. So welcome to Hal's Kitchen.
I think we have a new show. I always talk about shows we can create. I think we have a show called Gayification, where we just gayify the most non-gay area, whether it's like violent crime or just like kind of like hick white trash areas. You just gayify it.
Queer eye for the South Shy. Your city overrun with violence. These 4 gays are going to come in.
Ew, you guys have gang violence? Disgusting. We're going to gay it up over here.
Don't pull out your guns, pull out your cocks. I love gay men. I can't wait to see them in Key West.
And you know what? Here's the other thing about gay dudes. Good audience members. I mean, I'm stereotyping, but like want to laugh, want to enjoy themselves.
Not triggered. They've been through too much to get triggered.
Yeah. When I waited tables, I always loved getting a group of gay guys or a gay couple. Always the best tippers too.
The triggered, obviously, I mean, this is no surprise to anybody, but like the triggered audience member is always a
white female.
Exactly. The gay community has 0 of them. There are no, I mean, I guess the lesbian gay part of the gay community does, but like, that's one thing about gay men I love. No white women. Let's
be honest. Like, again, these are a lot of stereotypes, but a lot of times the lesbian women don't hang out with the gay dudes. Like, I mean, they don't really get along.
There was a lesbian girl who opened for us, who was the host in Wilmington. Fucking amazing. She said the F word, not fuck, the other F word, 1,000 times. And I'm like, are you allowed to do this because you're a lesbian?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you're a part of the LGBTQ community, so you're allowed to basically be Dave Chappelle and doing like Eddie Murphy's opening track from fucking whatever special that was.
Delirious?
Maybe. So here we are in Florida for the Wednesday night edition of the Dirty Sports Podcast.
Yeah, it's a late one tonight, man.
The host of the show tonight was like, you got a podcast, Dirty Sports. He's like, what makes it dirty? And I was like, I don't know, really, honestly.
You know what?
Mostly just sports.
You know what you tell him makes it dirty? We talk about dirty elbows and dirty NBA fights.
Oh, yeah, man. Are we leading with that? I'm so excited to lead with that.
Let's do it.
I have the strongest opinion of this, of maybe anybody on planet Earth besides Jokic himself. I think he did absolutely 0%, if it was possible, -% wrong. I think he was fully in the right. I think he was tame in his response. And from a guy, and maybe this is just a very Joe Prano thing, but like I've said it before, I've said of all the fights I've been in my life, fist fights, like fucking fighting somebody, more than half of them started on a basketball court, because there's an understanding that you don't shove someone while they're in the air. You don't trip somebody on purpose. You don't step on somebody's ankle, because at the speed that game is played, and the jumping and the fast cutting and all the things, and the way you expose your abdomen when you go up for things and the way you're in the air and people can undercut you. You have to play as hard as you can while understanding that every single person out here is an elbow away from a broken jaw, landing on your foot away from shredding their knee, tearing their Achilles. Like, it is a dangerous game because it's so fast and it's in the air and people are extending all the time. So when somebody on a basketball court goes out of their way to commit a violent act to me, Andy, I'm telling you, historically, I lose my fucking shit. I have punched people on a basketball court for what they did to Jokic, for what fucking Morris did to him. All he did is go up and shove you. And then people are like, oh, he hit him in the back. Hey, man, maybe don't throw an elbow into a guy's extended up abdomen area and then turn around like a little bitch and pretend you didn't do anything wrong and then claim, oh, boo hoo hoo, he shoved me in the back. You're going to fucking elbow somebody, stand in their face. And then maybe he would have shoved you in the front. I couldn't. Honestly, I put it out on the internet and people responded with blah, blah, blah. This, he in his past, this. I don't give a shit. You're wrong. I'm right. He's right. Bitch ass move. And then also just take your medicine.
Well, like, I had no problem how he reacted either. A lot of people, the complaint is that he hit him when his back was turned.
Don't turn. You just elbowed somebody in the fucking rib cage.
Yeah, I'm all for it.
You just elbowed somebody in the rib cage, and now you're doing this sneak away thing, this like Carmelo after he sucker punched Marty Collins move, where these guys commit an like unprovoked act of violence against somebody and then turns his back and pretends like nothing happened and pretends to just walk away. And that is the other thing. And my brother, both of my brothers will tell you this about me. If you attack me unprovoked, you have started a war. You don't then get to decide what my reaction is going to be. If we're in an altercation and we're whatever, and you shove me and I shove you, we've all seen a fight. You shove me, I shove you. You grab, I grab. You take a swing, I take a swing. But if out of nowhere, and my brother Mikey will tell you, I'm surprised Mikey was able to have 2 kids, because growing up, if Mikey shoved me or punched me or whatever unprovoked, I cock smacked him absolutely as hard as I can. And he'd be like, what the fuck? You unprovoked attacked me. You Pearl Harbored me. Now I can nuke you. You don't get to set the rules for how I respond to you out of nowhere attacking me, which is exactly what Morris did to him. Absolutely no reason he needed to do that. Bitch move. Now you don't get to determine how I react to your bitch move.
My favorite thing that has come to fruition through all this is the Jokic brothers getting involved. And they've been involved before.
And they were there, like, peering over the court with their fucking neck tattoos, their Russian mob neck tattoos.
Dude, they're all inked up.
I love it. It reminds me of that one fucking movie. What was it? Eastern Promises.
Yeah, they got on Twitter. For anybody who
my favorite thing ever. I love that they have a joint Twitter account.
They joined yesterday. They don't have an AVI. It's blank. I mean, this makes it even funnier.
Yeah.
And they tweeted at Marcus Morris, you should leave this the way it is instead of publicly threatening our brother. I think this is in reference to an Instagram post. Your brother made a dirty play first. If you want to make a step further, be sure we will be waiting for you. And they even signed it, Jokic Brothers.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Because you know what? The Morris twins are fucking dirty fucks. They've been doing this around the league forever. Jokic fights back, and then they're butthurt about it. And then they're just going to go around the league being like, cheap shot bullies. I'm serious. Like, I think a basketball court is one of the most fucked up places to cheap shot somebody. So this is an act of war against the Jokic family.
Well, and the truth is, dude, I don't think we fully realize what these people have gone through in these war-torn Eastern European countries, what these people have seen, like the Jokic brothers. They're from Serbia. I don't think people understand. Like, these are not people I'm messing with. Like, I don't care if you came from the worst part in the United States. It doesn't. No. I just mentioned joking about the gayification of South Side. I don't care if you come from South Side, which obviously is an extremely rough and violent, crime-ridden area. Dude, it doesn't compare to genocide and war and the things that these guys have dealt with. I'm terrified for the Morrises.
Yeah.
Simply, I'm terrified that they're going to show up to the Morris family reunion. The whole Jokic clan.
Yeah, I'm terrified for the Morrises too. And what's crazy is one of the Jokic brothers, I don't even know how you pronounce it, Strahinja, I think.
Sounds all right.
He slid in my DMs and said that he wanted to use our show to send a vocal message to the Morris brothers. So Andy, can you put Strahinja Jokic through?
I will real quick. We have Strahinja, and the other Jokic brother is Nemanja.
Yeah. I believe just Strahinja. Okay. I don't even know that's how you pronounce it.
So Strahinja.
Hello, Andy Ruther Joe Plano. You can just call me Stra Jokic. I have message for all Morris on planet Earth. To you, Marcus, Markeith, Marsha, Madeline, however many Morrises there are. Ask yourself one important question. Have you ever felt feeling of man, stop living while you choke him to death? Because Marcus and Markeith, I have felt many men die inside my grasp. So before you fuck with the Jokic brothers, ask yourself, Marcus, would you like to be strapped to soft NBA bench chair while watching me strangle your brother to death in middle of basketball court? You don't think I can get empty Miami arena? You go to sleep, wake up in dark Miami arena where I choke your brother to death in front of you? You don't think that the Jokic brothers capable of this? Well, ask yourself one fucking question. How many men have you killed? Because I have killed more men than you and your brothers have been on NBA teams. And I have looked at your Wikipedia. You have been on like fucking 9 teams. Your brother on fucking 6 teams. I kill more men than you, your brother, play for fucking rosters combined. Fuck with me. Fuck with Nikola. Fuck with any Jokic on earth, related to me or not. I'll fucking end you. I will choke you and Pat Riley's fucking slicked back hair to death in middle of court while famous NBA Heat fans watch. I don't know, who are you Heat fans? Mark Anthony, Jennifer Lopez, Jimmy Buffett. watching me choke your brother to death. And then I let you live. I let you go on playing in NBA. Every time you are in center court for tip-off, you think this is where my brother died at the hands of Jokic.
Wow.
That is a serious threat. Not going to lie, he sounds angry.
Yeah. I would not want to mess with that man. Not only is there a death threat, it is
elaborate.
And also the thought of choking someone and watching them die in your own hands. I think he's done that a few times. I gather that.
It seems as though he's claiming he has.
Like he knows what he's doing there. So I'd be on the lookout if you're a member of the Morris
I wouldn't
family.
fuck with the Jokic brothers.
No. I wouldn't fuck with the actual, the NBA player Jokic.
Yeah.
It's good though. I think this is good for the NBA. And not somebody getting strangled to death mid-game, but I think this is good for the NBA. This is good for the sport.
This is a good beef.
I mean, what better beef? You got
Andy, hold on one second. Jokic back here. Many people refer to my brother and my family. They call the Jokers. He's the Joker. This nickname, the Joker. You think it comes from Jokic? No. Jokic pronounced like your American Y. Joker pronounced J. We are Joker because, like the character in Batman, we will fucking end your whole city. I have many men inside asylum in native Serbia. I will release them and they will fucking end you.
Wow.
You think pencil trick Joker does in the movie is hilarious? Wait till I do it to my fucking dick. Wait till I puncture your fucking brother's eye out with my fucking dick. This guy is losing it. Strange. Wow. Get the hell out of here. Like, I honestly can't even have. This has gone too far. I can't have these kind of threats.
Yeah.
He's talking about dick. He's talking about dick to eyeballing somebody to death.
That's insane, man. You don't, like I said, you don't mess with those Eastern Europeans, dude. They're crazy. In fact, if you had to rank like mobsters, who I think I would almost argue the Russian mobsters are more intimidating than the Italian mobsters.
I would agree for sure. The thing about Italian mobsters,
they'll kill you, but they'll be friendly. They'll give you a good meal.
They have a code. The Russians, there's no code there. They're just deadly animals.
So when I moved to LA.
And by Russian, I mean like Soviet, you know what I mean? Like, that whole thing's come apart. They don't even they don't even care about each other anymore.
Yeah. So when I moved to LA, I had an early job. It didn't last long. I never told you. I don't think I've ever said this on air. I worked at a Russian spa in West Hollywood. And dude, it was intimidating to work there. Like I needed any job, and I was coming from the spot Caesar's Palace, so right, a spa made sense. It was only Russians in there. And they all spoke Russian. And the guy who hired me was Russian, but he would get yelled at. I would see him get yelled at by somebody above him, and they had those things. What's the things where you go in the room and they beat you with those giant like leaves?
Oh yeah,
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know what it's called, but
bro,
I know exactly what you're talking about.
It was I think it was just a bunch of Russian mobsters who would go into the spa, just walking around naked. It was so intimidating for me. I lasted like 2 weeks. Like I can't do this. I don't even think I got paid.
I can't fucks with these dudes.
I don't even think I got paid.
I
Like,
think a lot of people work for the Russians or the former Soviet mobsters and don't end up getting paid.
but here's the funniest part of all this.
Should we pay Andy or should we kill him?
Here's the
We
funniest
only
part.
owe him like $400. Okay, maybe we pay.
Yeah.
Just this time.
Here's the best part. You know who came in there because it was a newer spot too. You know who came in there one day and who was not Russian? Dude, you're gonna die. And who just like jumped in the pool all naked? Paulie Shore. Not making this up. The wheeze, dude. Talk about him standing out in this spa with a
Just
bunch of
helicoptering
Russians.
his dick. They're like, no wheezing the juice. No wheezing the juice.
Yeah, dude. Paulie Shore walked in there because it wasn't that far from the Comedy Store. It was in West Hollywood. I forget the name of that place, but
I like son-in-law, but your duty is not for me.
yeah, so it was only people who spoke Russian, and then Paulie Shore showed up one day. Was like, yeah, man, this is kind of cool. Like, everybody's all serious in there, and he's just being Paulie Shore. He no lie did like a cannon. There was a pool in the center where people would be naked, whatever. It's only. I don't know, I think it was just an all male spa. Yeah. I don't think there was a female section. I like jumped in.
Cannonballs into the pool. He's like, it was just at the Comedy Store. Yakov Smirnoff told me I should check this place out. Figured I'd come down and wheeze around.
Oh, man.
Next time I see Yakov, I will smack him in the face. He tell Weasel to come here.
I totally forgot about that.
I mean, what's your you agree with me? I mean, I feel like he did nothing wrong whatsoever.
Yeah, I got an argument with somebody today about it because they used he hit a guy when he wasn't looking. I said he should have been hit the first place, unprovoked.
First of all, he shoved a guy. He shoved a guy when he wasn't looking, right? And the other dude fucking threw an elbow into his again exposed rib cage.
Yeah,
there's two totally different No, fuck all those people. I'm team psychotic Serbians.
Oh, I 100% am too. I mean, I'm biased for sure because I like Jokic as a player, and I think he's good for the league, and he's so unique. And I mean, dude, I would put this up there. This is an insane beef. We're talking about. You couldn't come from a different dude. I was having fun reading the tweets. It was cracking me up. Like somebody put. Did the Morris brothers have some? Did they go crazy like on the Kansas when they were at KU on the football team or something?
Yeah, I did hear. I do loosely recall that story.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't. Excuse me. I don't know the full account of that story. But I was laughing at some of the responses like, cool, dude, they took on a whole football team. These guys literally took on like a genocide.
Yeah.
Like, what are we even talking about here? I love it. Like I said, it's great. I think it's great.
Like beef. I feel like the Morris brothers at this point, it's like, oh, okay, cool. But like, what do and the Jokic brothers are literally like watching this at home, like cutting their steak with like Rambo's knife and like stabbing it and like eating it off of fucking.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I'm saying, dude, these people who've seen shit, like you don't want to mess with these people. Like you said, let's not forget, like Russia was so big. It was all those countries, like that whole area was broken up.
Yeah, these guys, the Morris brothers aren't exactly John Wick. You know what I mean? Like, I think, that scene in John Wick where he's like, you fuck with Boogeyman. Like, be like, oh, it's the Morris brothers? Just fucking kill them.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, man. It's a good early NBA season storyline.
I'm way into it.
Yeah, I'm for it.
Team Jokic over here.
I'm for it. For sure. I bet the Jokic brothers. I can see them. I can see them getting together, planning a whole thing. A response attack over Miller Lite. Can't you see that, Joe? Like the bonding.
Yeah, absolutely.
The bonding of the brothers over some Miller Lite.
If there's something I know about Eastern European immigrants, it's that they love things that are like crazy American. You know what I mean? They come 100%. Here, they're like, I just want Levi Blue Jean, Corvette, Miller Lite. Yeah. They just want things that are like, they're like, I want for dinner apple pie with Miller Lite. Yeah. I'll eat it in my Corvette while I drive Levi's jeans. And you're like, all right, dude, we get it. You like being in America.
Yeah.
But honestly, if you like being in America, if you are a red-blooded American, you probably have a Miller Lite every day. I just had 3 at the comedy club. I mean, I bring a Miller Lite on stage with me every night now. It's my security blanket.
Well,
when in doubt, there it is. The greatest Pilsner this land or any land around the world has ever seen. The original light beer. How many countries do you think have light beers at this point? Probably lots.
It's the OG.
Here we are. The original.
Since 1975.
That's older than me.
Yeah. Miller Lite has been the beer with taste you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks. Just grab a beer for people who like beer. That's exactly what it is. If you're hanging with your friends, hanging solo, hanging with your brothers, hanging with your family, you can always count on Miller Lite to bring friends and family together for Miller time. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. Okay, we did not discuss this last episode, so we have to discuss it now because there's an update. Odell Beckham Jr. is no longer on the Browns.
Gone. And cleared waivers. Now, I have been doing shows all night, but there was apparently some reports about the teams that were or were not pursuing him post him clearing waivers. Or has there been updates this evening?
Well, he has stated that he has his teams that he would be eyeing.
Okay, and his teams are
the Packers.
Okay,
the Chiefs.
I like that.
And the Saints.
It's interesting.
Now, you and I disagree on Odell at this point, or we have for years, I should say. I would not touch him with any of those teams.
Because?
I think Odell is a locker room cancer.
Now, what is your feeling on the free Odell campaign, the free OBJ campaign that it seems like a lot of players were on? Do you think that there's any, does it question your locker room cancer thing that so many players seem to be Team Odell?
No, it doesn't mean anything to me. I look at it this way. He left New York in a bad situation. Like he left not in a high note. He comes to the Browns, who are obviously building something. I mean, to me, the numbers don't lie. The Browns were under 500 when he played. They were 14-15 without him in 29 games. With him. Excuse me. With him, they were 14-15. Without him, they're 8-4. They average more points per game and more total yards per game without him. To me, that's all I need to see.
The only problem with this,
look how well they played last week against Cincinnati.
Right. But the only problem with this is it's not basketball. It's like, what is he doing? Like, what is a receiver that you're not throwing the ball to doing that affects your offense? Like, I just don't understand I almost like, listen, dare I say, like, I almost feel like he's, getting this black sheep thing. Like, he's a receiver that you're not throwing the ball to. And then you don't have him. So then you don't need to throw him the ball. And so now your offense is good. Now, like, I mean, is it literally that Baker Mayfield can't concentrate on playing quarterback when he has a receiver who wants the ball that he doesn't give the ball to?
I just know that they win and they play better when he's not on the team. That's all I need to know.
Okay. But I mean, I understand that. And those are the facts. But I'm asking, like, what does that look like? Like, because I just don't get it. I get a basketball player that demands the ball and gets the ball, and then you can't get the ball out of his hands. And so you're like, we'd be better off, as talented as Carmelo Anthony is, we'd be better off that the ball doesn't go to him and then our offense fucking stops. But if you're a football team and this guy's complaint is you're not throwing me the ball and you're not throwing him the ball, what, is the issue more than locker room cancer? Are you like, is the claim that no one seems to be verbally making is he's like not running the right routes?
I don't know whether even the locker room cancer is right or wrong. I'm basing my stuff off the Browns' performance again, with and without him. That's all I need personally.
And that's fine. And that's fine. But, like, you know what? It'll be interesting to see if the Browns play really well consistently.
Sure.
Without Odell Beckham, because at this point, it seems like everybody's pointing to that. And I would say Baker Mayfield has been inconsistent. And, is this what Baker Mayfield needs? One less talented receiver to be more consistent? Okay, we'll see if that maybe.
I mean, who knows? Again, so I mean, it's not like we have a small sample size. We got 12 games. We have 3/4 of a season.
But we also have, again, throughout Baker Mayfield's career, runs where he plays great and runs where he's mediocre. So is it all Odell Beckham? I guess we're about to find out, and that's fine.
Well, let's look at those teams. Now, Saints, we both agree. Why would you want to go to the Saints? They have a QB.
Well, he's from New Orleans.
True. Okay. So
he wants to go home, and otherwise he wants contenders.
Well, he wants contenders in general. Obviously, the Saints are still in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, I wouldn't call them Super Bowl contenders.
No. Now, the Chiefs, I don't know. They got a lot of guys already. The Packers, obviously, you have one big alpha in Devontae Adams.
I think the Packers combo is like, we're now at the Aaron Rodgers is becoming a weird personality himself. So it's like, I almost feel like a guy who's currently being villainized, adding another guy being villainized. And Aaron Rodgers has complained about not having enough weapons, either openly or, behind the scenes. I mean, that's interesting. The teams I'm surprised that aren't on the list. The Patriots.
Yeah.
You would have to think that's a team that very well known for taking the guys that other teams didn't want, who have super talent, and making them better. A team that doesn't have superstar wide receivers at the point. A team that I think you can I would say that the Patriots are more of a Super Bowl contender at any given moment ever than the Saints have been in the last, I don't know how many years. And, so that's one team. The Rams, I'm surprised, aren't on the list. You got LA. You got, I mean, both, I would say both LA teams, I'm surprised aren't on his list.
Well, the Rams, yeah, I mean,
because now it's not a money thing. Now he's a full-on free agent. You could offer him a $1 million or whatever, however amount of money, show me deal.
I think
right
for
away.
him to succeed, he's got to go to somewhere like a Patriots, like a guy who can, I don't know. I mean, I think that's why, to me, that's Brady's big talent. Like, he gets these guys to buy in. The good quarterbacks, the great quarterbacks do.
You mean a go to a Bucks?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think they have too many guys now, but I'm just saying, Antonio Brown's worked out so far. He's been under control.
Now he had to bottom out in a whole other fucking fashion.
Sure.
He's like burning his fucking feet in a cold machine and beating up his wife on a moving truck. And that was a whole other level.
Yeah. Like the Chiefs, I don't know. I would say the best fit would probably be the Packers. The Chiefs just, we'll get to it later.
It just seems like the Chiefs right now, it's like they have a lot of problems, and it's not, I wouldn't say lack of weapons is in the top 15 problems.
Yeah. I agree. Therefore, if those are the three teams he's looking at, I would say the Packers. But I mean, he's at a big crossroads of his career. He really is. Where is this going from here at this point?
I just don't like my problem is with the Odell thing is like no one seems to be talking about he's physically not the same player. Now, obviously he has struggled with injuries, but like no one's like, oh, a hobbled Odell Beckham. So it's like, it's not like the guy's not talented. It's not like the guy hasn't shown us he has huge playability at any given moment. We haven't seen I think his complaint, whether it be valid or not, is like, yo, when I get the ball, I can do things and you're not giving me the ball. I think it's a hard position to be in as a wide receiver in the NFL and be like, I feel like I should get the ball and you guys don't give it to me.
I also think these guys, like I don't know, the NFL, there's so many talented guys. There's so many talented guys at every position. And I think, if you have a good quarterback or a good coach and a good scheme, they make these no names household. Like, where did Cooper Kupp come from?
Right. 100%.
That's Sean McVay. That's Matthew Stafford.
Yeah. But also that's a situation where they're getting him the ball. And it's also a situation where they went big on defense and they gave Todd Gurley all this money and they gave Goff all this money and they gave whatever. So when's the last time the Rams spent money on a wide receiver?
Well, Cooper Kupp's in a big contract. Robert Woods is in a big contract. And those guys are, 1,000-yard receivers, multiple years.
But they didn't go superstars. They didn't go.
But I like that because they didn't have to.
Right. I understand. Totally. But now you have, I would argue, a guy out there who's certainly not performing like those guys, but another one they did it with Sammy Watkins. They did it with there's, those guys who are out there. The Chiefs did it with them. Those guys out there, you take at this point in their career and you go, well, high talent, undervalued. That's why I'm surprised that Patriots and Rams aren't on the list. But,
But again, that's the list that he wanted to.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I was his agent, I'd be like, bro, put the Rams on the list. Put the Chargers on the list. They're in Los Angeles.
We
both have great quarterbacks.
Yeah, well, we didn't. Speaking of the Patriots, we didn't discuss the Mac Jones ankle grab.
Yes, we didn't.
That's pretty dirty, man.
It was definitely dirty.
Have you watched the different angles?
I have. I felt like the idea that he twisted it is being overblown a little bit.
You think?
I felt like the dude whose ankle he grabbed kind of like twisted himself. But the grabbing of it is absolutely dirty. I think it's a bit of a stretch to be like he fucking twisted his ankle, but
Well, I've seen it from a bunch of angles. It looks like he's twisting his ankle, which to me that's dirty, man.
yeah.
Like
I feel like he's pulling his ankle, but doesn't make it okay by any means. But I would argue that, like, is he trying to hurt somebody? See, I feel like elbowing a guy in the rib cage is.
I thought you were gonna go full. He's a Patriot. He's a cheater. They probably teach him that in practice.
Oh, by the way, I'm not saying that that's not true at all. Like, they probably do. Like, Belichick's probably like, I mean, how much do you care if you're not willing to fucking yank a guy's ankle? Like, I fucking took you in the first fucking round. You better, like, are you willing to die for this team or not? Because, like, show me. Look at what Tom did. Tom's drinking the blood of children. Tom's forcing children to suck air out of footballs as punishment. And then if they don't do it, he slits their throats, hangs them over a bucket, and then drinks their blood. You're not going to grab a guy by the ankle?
You know what Brady probably does? You watched Silicon Valley, right?
Yeah.
You remember what was
honestly one of my favorite shows ever.
Yeah. What was the CEO Gavin when he's getting the blood from the younger people?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Like the transfusions.
By the way, I'm sure that move is something that they teach all Patriots players. I just felt like it was like, it's dirty as fuck.
Well, people are going to be coming for Mac Jones' head. The defenders will. After that, like you have now made yourself a marked man in the National Football League, dude. You really have. So good luck with that. You want to get to some picks?
Sure. Let's
do it. Week 10. Joe, you're down 12 points. This is the biggest
just
lead.
Declared over.
This
Andy,
is the biggest. This is
how many weeks are left? 8 weeks?
18 weeks in the season. So 9
Dude,
weeks.
I'd have to beat you on average by more than a point a week from here on out. I would declare it over if I were you. I would put the flag in the ground right now and say it is over.
No, not
Andy,
doing it.
It's over. You should say it.
I'm not saying it.
Say it's over.
I'm not saying it.
You know, somebody said it was like, dude, it's over. And I said, you know, they tried to declare the Ruther curse over. And I used an old Eli Manning adage, you know, people would always love to shit on Eli Manning. He played a bad game. I go, you can't have a huge fourth quarter comeback unless you're down in the first 3 quarters. I feel like that's the way we're talking about the Andy Ruther curse. The Ruther curse can't blow an epic 12-game lead unless Andy Ruther has a 12-game lead.
Well, the Ruther curse did not strike Monday night. Can I do a quick humble brag?
Sure.
Shout out to the Chicago Bears for covering. Won me 2 G's.
On what?
I'm in a pick 6 league. So you have to get all 6 right. It's a great pot. It's a great way to do it. It's $230 for the entire season. And you got to pick 6 games a week. You got to get all 6 right. And $4,000 is divvied up each week.
And it was just you. It was just 2 people.
Yeah. Or no. More than $4,000. Sorry, $8,000. $8,000 is divvied up a week. There was only 4 winners. And dude, I don't know what's going on with me. I'm going to jinx it, but I've gotten pick 6 twice now. So I've already won $2,700 in the season in this pick 6 league. Like,
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, that's what needs to be said about Andy Ruther and the impending Andy Ruther curse / meltdown is I'm not having an especially bad year. I'm picking more than half the games with the spread.
you are correct.
You're picking like 60% of the games with the spread.
Dude, I'm crushing it.
Like I'm having one of my better gambling seasons I've had in, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. Now, I don't obviously have to bet every single game.
Sure.
So that's helpful. But also, you're picking 62% of games or something right now.
Yeah, I'm up to like 62%.
Now, can that hold?
I don't know. It probably can't.
Yes, we'll see.
It probably can't, but we can pull up
I feel like all this talk can't be helpful.
No, I knew I shouldn't have humble bragged about that Bears.
Also, can we talk about that Bears game since we haven't done a show since that?
Yes, go for it.
You have said it many times, and not every Andy Ruther hot take is something that I'll necessarily jump on board with, but this is one that I could not agree more with the idea of one guy celebrating can literally cost the Chicago Bears that football game,
bro.
But 12 guys laying down in the fucking end zone like they're Native Americans.
It's unbelievable.
Canoeing across a fucking river.
It's unbelievable.
It's honestly,
it's unbelievable.
I made it very clear that I think Jokic did zero wrong. And I think if you're on the other side of that argument, that you are a fucking size 55 shoe wearing clown. If you are, I don't care if you're a Steelers fan or not.
Oh my God.
If you think he should have been penalized and then hip checked by a referee, which was also the weirdest fucking addition of the story. If you think he should have been penalized for taunting, I want you to kill yourself. In fact, I want a Jokic brother to kill you. I can't possibly imagine a human being walking the earth who watches football and cares about it, who is doing anything than being the worst Pittsburgh Steelers homer in history.
No, they're out there.
Who also thinks Ben Roethlisberger didn't rape somebody, and who thinks the city of Pittsburgh is, fucking the most beautiful place on planet Earth. But if you think that he should have been penalized for that, I hate you. I hate you.
Well, again, my point always is, like you said,
what did he do?
Well, not even just that. There's like multiple things here. One, Morris should not have been penalized. But again, the Cam Hayward interception, dude, they're like posing for pictures. Guys, does the NFL not know what the definition of the word? That could not be more taunting. That is taunting. The entire 11-man defense, like you said, they're laying in the end zone. They're doing snow angels. I don't know what they're doing.
I know. I love a Chicago Bears player was penalized for turning to one of the 4 sides of the field. But if you score a touchdown in Green Bay, you are allowed to now become a ticket holding patron of the stadium. You go 10 rows up, you eat popcorn. There's guys who you get an interception and suddenly you are one man and your 10 teammates that were on the field with you are bowling pins and you are rolling strikes and spares, and then humans are falling over as if they are bowling pins. And he turned to one of the 4 sides that's unacceptable. And then what the fuck was with the ref? What was that?
Well, here's what the NFL's done. This is what they've done in the worst case scenario. They have followed suit. We've had a major problem for years now, right? In Major League Baseball, but the umpires making the game about themselves and the umpires showboating in Major League Baseball. Now that's worked its way because of this stupid new rule of them trying to throw more penalties for taunting. Now the refs have followed suit like Major League Baseball umps, and now they're trying to make themselves a part of the game. You're not a part of the game. Nobody's paying to see you.
Why did that guy hip check him? I need let's play come up with any fucking explanation.
I have no clue. Like I said, because he wanted to be a part of the game. He wanted to make that the end of that game about him, not about the 22 people on the field, which is just wrong.
Honestly, Andy, the only explanation I truly have for that flag, the only one, is the NFL's rigged. That's all I've got. That is my one explanation. The NFL is rigged, and or referees are betting on games. That's all I got.
It's like a call came down from New York, like, oh yeah, we're gonna need you to hip check this guy and throw a penalty.
Or it's Tim Donaghy, or that guy just has that guy's got something on the line. What's the other explanation for him, like, physically contacting a player on purpose, immediately throwing a taunting flag after? It's the worst fucking shit I've ever seen. I need Strahinja Jokic to start killing referees.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. They got to get that in order, though. It's ruining the game.
If you have a defense for that flag, please call our hotline. I need to hear what you guys sound like. I need
310-359-8365.
I need to hear a person defend that taunting flag. We watch all this sport. We watch all of this. It's Monday night. It's prime time. The fucking Steelers have a big lead. They blow the lead. Bears come back. We do all this. All the pregame fucking Monday night countdown, the fucking post game, the fucking getting fans there, the whole thing, for it to be decided because some asshole is like, I don't like that you turned west. You faced west at some point, and now this game will be won by the Steelers.
Yeah, it was egregious.
It makes me hate the NFL.
I'm rewatching it right now. I mean, it's so bad. And dude, the theater, that's the word you have to use if you guys rewatch this. The theater that the ref employed to stick his rear end and allow himself to get hip checked, and the theater of how he threw the flag. It was like,
then what does that even have to do with it? It's not like he threw a flag because the guy had made contact with him. You know what I mean? Like, that wasn't what the flag is for. He's saying the flag's for taunting. So it's like, oh, this guy bumped me, I'm giving him a flag. The only explanation I had is that the punter was coming out on the field, and they thought he was taunting the punter who was like running toward him, which he wasn't.
He was. He was talking. Look. Here's what
he was talking
doing.
Trash to, it seemed like, the entire sideline,
or the punter, regardless. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Trash talking is a part of sports. We cannot remove that. We cannot remove trash talking. That's one of my favorite parts of sports. The back and forth, the jawing. That's what's so great about it.
But also, this is another one of those things. It's like, this rule is like fucking enforced sometime, not enforced another time, not whatever. And like, it certainly should be enforced. It certainly should be enforced when there is a random fucking, like, a guy's running with the football, and then one of his buddies comes in and punches it out, and then they jump on it. And now we're going to play duck, duck, goose in the end zone, 60 yards away from where you recovered a fumble. 10 guys can go. 10 adult millionaires can sit on the ground and one of them can go around and play fucking duck, duck, goose, but a guy on the Bears can't look west after a fucking game-saving sack.
Well, the problem is it's subjective, right? It's subjective up to the individual ref.
This is like if speeding tickets where they pull you over and they were like, you were going 45 and a 35. It's like, wait, I didn't see any signs. They're like, yeah, we decide how fast you're allowed to go. He's allowed to go 65. Why? Because we said so. But why can't I? Because, dude, these are just the rules.
Yeah, it sucked, man.
We don't like how you look going fucking 35.
I mean, Pittsburgh is like, here we are again. They're like the worst 5-3 team I've ever seen.
We, on this show, it's often like, you know, you're like, I can understand this. I can understand this. I think this is the first time in history there's two, the Jokic foul and this call. I just can't even imagine that there's people on the other sides of these arguments. It was like, who are you people? Everything, something's just got to be fucking. It's
dude.
I need it for my sanity.
Yeah, but I'm telling you right now,
it makes me insane that there are people who think the earth is flat, that Jokic shouldn't have been able to push him, and that flag should ever be thrown in the game.
There's nothing worse than a sports homer. That's what it is, man. Again, to me, politics and sports are the same because the homerism, once you've picked a side or a team, it's like you refuse to see the truth. I'm sure every Steelers fan defended the flag because people will justify anything they can through their viewpoint to help their cause if they're a fan of that team.
A horrible way to win a game.
Yeah, it wasn't good, especially like you said, a comeback would have been a huge win for Justin Fields in his young career.
If I was a Bears fan that went to that game in Pittsburgh, which, you know, the NFL is a sport where people really do travel to see their team. You know, like if that had happened when I was in New Orleans, I would have sued the NFL. I'd be like, how fucking dare you? I built a weekend around doing this.
Yeah.
I flew down there.
You caused me emotional damage. I'm sure there's something, right, that you could sue for, like mental stress or emotional damage.
Yeah.
Well, luckily we both had the Bears. It didn't affect us.
No.
They still covered. Okay, so week 10 is here. Let's get going, man.
Let's do it.
As always, we're on the FanDuel Sportsbook. So if you guys want to follow along, go to sportsbook.fanduel.com as we navigate through this week. Big spread to start off. The Ravens travel to Miami, not too far from you. They're 7.5-point favorites. The Ravens are not covering spreads.
They are not.
Now, this is a Thursday night game, though.
Correct.
Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
I'll go first because I like this one. So I'll take it as opposed to giving it to you. I agree with you. Ravens are not covering spreads. I also think Thursday night, favors a shitty game. And sometimes that is in the form of blowout. So we definitely have that potential. But as bad as the Dolphins have been, and I think Dolphins fans, I'm sure Max out there somewhere regretting that he bet, the Punch Drunk podcast that they would go 15-2. But they've been a disappointment. And I think that this team has something there. Like they have to build on something. And I think so in a Thursday night game that can go sloppy blowout or sloppy low scoring close one, I'm going sloppy low scoring close one, and I'm going with the Dolphins.
All right. I'm going to be a contrarian. I'm starting to get a little loose.
Yeah,
I got a big lead on you, and I don't trust the Ravens, but I'm also like, you know what? I can do this to Joe because
or maybe the contrarian, maybe just you're up 20 after the week.
Yeah. So I'm going to go Ravens win and cover in a blowout. By the way, I'm looking through our new analytics, which are updated every episode. Shout out to Tyler Hawkins, who again is a.
Now, are you sitting there with like analytics via the analytics dirt balls on all these games, and I'm just like riding from fucking the seat of my pants?
No, Tyler does just for the games. He has win probability. He doesn't have spreads.
Okay.
And the importance on a scale of 1 to 100. By the way, if you guys want to follow Tyler, I got to give him a shout out on Twitter. It's at Tyler Hawkins 77, and he's doing a great job for us. Again, he's getting his master's in sports management and analytics at Miami of Ohio. When we get to the Chiefs game,
home of famed rapist Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah. When we get to the Chiefs game, he did a great deep dive on Patrick Mahomes and why he thinks he's struggling this year, and statistically backs it up. So again, shout out to Tyler Hawkins for really helping us out now. I love that we have somebody like that. Okay. The Jags travel to the Colts, where the Jags are 10.5-point underdogs. So the Jags obviously had a huge win, 10.5. I'm going to go first. I just like the Colts. I don't know, man. 10.5 is too much for me. I'm going to go with the Jags.
I'm also going to go with the Jags.
Right? Like, it's a big spread.
It's a big spread. It's a division game. What have the Colts showed me? Like, what they show me what? That they can barely cover against the Jets with their fourth string quarterback in? Like, what have they shown me?
Yeah. By the way, Tyler, on a scale of 1 to 100, has this out of 14 out of 100 as far as importance. And when he says importance, he means like how the importance of this game for playoffs and division winners and how that would play out. I assume that's what he means. Okay, so we're both going Jags in that game. Now, this game, Tyler lists as the most important game of the week. Cleveland at New England. He listed as a 99 of 100. He says the win probability for the Patriots is 52%. But what is the spread? The spread is very close. The New England Patriots are 1.5-point favorites against the Browns. Huge game. 2 5-4 teams. Huge playoff implications. You're up.
Well, Odell Beckham is gone. And now Baker Mayfield is Joe Montana.
Ah, there you go.
No, I think Baker Mayfield is inconsistent. And I don't think the receiving core, having one less talented receiver, is going to make him more consistent. I'm going with the Patriots to win and cover.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I like how the defense is playing right now. Well, actually for both teams, but in particular, the Patriots. I like how they're playing. I just can't go against the Patriots right now. I just can't. Solely because of their defense. And 1.5 is too small. So I'm going to agree with you, and I'm going to take the Patriots in a huge game. All right, this next game is what Tyler lists as the least important. The Detroit Lions traveling to the Pittsburgh Steelers, a 4 out of 100. The Steelers are 8.5-point favorites. I'm up first. I can't do it. Too many times I've taken the Lions, and I know they'll burn me this week, but I got to go Steelers, even though I think the Steelers are trash too. I can't, in good faith, take the Lions to cover.
Where is this game?
It's in Pittsburgh.
And were the Lions off last week?
Correct. By the way, you have to love, real quick, Brano, I thought of this. You have to love in the week with insane upsets. Of course, the Lions had the off week.
Yeah.
Like the 1 week they might have a chance because every NFL team is losing to underdogs. They're on a bye. It's a big spread, 8.5.
It is a big spread. I'm going Lions, and it's going to burn me. But here's why I'm going Lions. You said the week we're all under it. The last 2 weeks have been fucking weird weeks in the NFL. The only team who hasn't gotten involved is the Lions. And does that mean I think the Lions can win this game? Absolutely not. But I think a weird thing for the Lions participating in a fucking 3-point football game is weird. This is going to be why I lose and have to eat meatballs in an IKEA for 12 hours, because in week fucking 10, I randomly took the Lions in a game where they lose by 40 to Pittsburgh, who's feeling hot after they just found out that the other team's not allowed to celebrate any sort of plays whatsoever. So it's like, Pittsburgh's riding a high. You have to be riding high right now when you find out that your quarterback is allowed to rape people and your opponents are not allowed to even celebrate. It's got to be a great position that you're feeling in. Multiple people, by the way, 2 rapes. So yeah, I know I'm making a terrible decision here. I'm going with the Lions.
I feel like we're the only ones who continues to bring up Ben Roethlisberger.
Eddie If does it on stage every night, and I applaud him.
Okay. Like everyone else is kind of just like, whatever.
Eddie does a great joke about it. He does how, like, politics are so. I don't want to fucking butcher his joke. You should see Eddie If sometime, preferably while I'm opening for him. But he has a great joke about how people in politics just like fucking make excuses for everybody. It's like everybody says, like, oh, bull, like whoever you vote for, then you just defend them to death. He's like me. I'm from Pittsburgh. He's like, I'm a Steelers fan. And we all know my quarterback raped some people, but we want to win the Super Bowl. So we don't do shit about it.
Well, it's like, it goes back to what I'm saying. You'll be a homer. I always put sports and politics. You pick your side and then you don't budge from it ever. Okay. Falcons travel to Dallas. Cowboys coming off just a thorough ass kicking are 9-point favorites. I think, are my first or you first?
You went first and took the Steelers.
True.
I feel like the Cowboys for sure win this game. 9's so big.
It's really big, man.
The Falcons are the devil. The Falcons have haunted me more. Like I can't. To me, this seems such an obvious Falcons pick.
I know it does.
So I'm gonna go with it and just
they're 4-4.
Continue to hate the fucking Falcons.
Well, it's too obvious not to pick. That's how I feel.
9 point. The Cowboys just got fucking dick slapped by the Broncos.
Yeah. Now the Falcons almost blew that game.
Yeah, I know.
By the way,
This should be called the Paper Tiger Bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, over the last 15 years, there are 2 teams that have been Paper Tigers more often than these 2 teams.
But I just got a text. Clearly, he's watching the show. Shout out to Tyler Hawkins. Again, he goes to Miami of Ohio. He said, Big Ben raping people is a daily discussion between staff and students at Miami of Ohio.
That's great.
So they're keeping it alive. They're keeping it down there.
I mean, he didn't say what the discussion was. He didn't say the discussion wasn't the entire staff and student body going like, guys, remember, he didn't rape anybody.
Oh, true.
But
true.
I assume he's saying that.
But see, he's another one. I don't know if you know this. Ben's another one who turned Jesus. Dude, you can do anything if suddenly you love Jesus. I mean, Ray Lewis killed 2 people, allegedly, when he was connected, and he narked on all his guys. All bad things. Dude, the minute you're like, I love Jesus, everything's forgiven.
You'll love this, by the way. This waitress comes up to us after the show last night. She loved Eddie. She's talking about Eddie. I don't know what you're talking about. She said she's from Baltimore. And Eddie brings up. Oh, she brings up from. She says she's from Baltimore. Eddie's like, oh, I'm from Pittsburgh. So, and she's like, are you a football fan? Immediately, are you a football fan? He's like, yeah. And she's like, so we don't get along. And Eddie's like, well, The one thing we have in common is our team is full of assholes. Like we had a rapist quarterback and you had a murderous linebacker. And she did exactly what we've been talking about. She was
fanboy.
Like,
yeah.
He wasn't involved. He was just in the car.
He was just in the
car. I was like, I'm standing on the side, like I'm like, he played no contest to obstruction of justice because he fucking was involved in this murder.
And she's the like, white bloody suit.
He just got blood on him because he was in the car. And I was like, I can't even go there right now.
He did a plea deal.
Yeah.
He routed out his 2 boys. And then he found Jesus. Dude, that's the move. All these guys.
It's always the move. Because they pray not to go to jail. And then when they don't, they're like, oh, there must be somebody up there. It's like, no, you're just an athlete.
Or it's just a great PR move.
Yeah.
Like claim Jesus. Everyone will forgive you. Well, I'm going to join you on this Falcons train. I hate to do it as well. I hate to, but I can't. I just can't not. I can't not.
What does Vegas know about this game that we don't? That the Falcons can't stop the Cowboys?
Even Tyler, like he doesn't have it that big. He has the Cowboys win probability at 66%. I mean, it's high, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's not insanely high. Okay, the Bills, who have just not looked good, they travel to New York. They're 13-point favorites. The Bills have played too poorly to keep playing poorly. I think they win and cover because they have to make a statement game.
Agreed.
Right,
agreed. I mean, they just played so bad last week. And then the Jets, like, you know, the thing about the Jets is like the Jets did get their ass kicked in Indianapolis. You know what I mean? It's not like people act like that was like a 2-point game. It was like they came back from fucking
42-16
down or whatever. Yeah.
It's 42-16.
Jets are bad.
They're real bad.
Who's starting for the Jets? Walter White?
Yeah, Walter White, Mike White.
I mean, score some points, bitch. Yo, Mr. White. Don't get hurt, yo.
Throw me the pass, bitch.
Yo, we don't want to see Josh Johnson, yo.
Yo, want some meth, bitch?
I need a Mike White. I'm the one who knocks fucking post game.
That's Maddie's boy.
Yeah.
Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
I'll never forget Goldberg at that fucking viewing party at his sister's house. And he's controlling the remote. Like, you guys want me to put on some porn? Like in front of the whole fucking party. I mean, Maddie said this himself. Aaron Paul at that party, 100% thought or still thinks Maddie has like some sort of Down syndrome or something. He's like patting him on the head.
Yo, what's wrong with your brother, bitch?
Oh, Goldberg was on fire. Okay, so we're both going to take the Bills. Titans.
Yo, why are you shadowboxing, bitch? I'm just getting ready for the show.
Dude, how about Doug James texting me to see if I was available?
That's unbelievable. By the way, have you heard this Doug James story?
No.
There's the Doug James story. This is amazing. This is going to be so inside comedy.
I know this, but we've mentioned him before on the show.
Doug
James, we have. So we got to refresh it. But Doug James runs some comedy shows in Southern California. And from my experience, they're either awesome or terrible. Like there's no in between.
But one thing is for sure, every 100% of the time, Doug James is the weirdest guy of all time. I need you to look at me and point. When he gives you the light, he requires that you look at him and shoot, like finger gun him. So I swear to God, if I don't think that you've seen it, I will light you again until you recognize it with a finger gun.
Remind me.
Then he has like a little booklet.
Yeah.
that he writes all his notes in.
Does he's the guy who's PG-13, right? Or no?
No, that was
LG Ross.
That was LG. My name is LG. It's short for LG. He was PG-13. His email was always, don't go full Richard Pryor. You're like, nice reference. No one here fucking, the 22-year-old open micer you're booking has no idea who Richard Pryor is.
Yeah. So the best part too about Doug James is when he books you, he doesn't book you in advance.
He always books you the night of, or like at best the day before.
Which, as you know,
and his shows are on like Huntington or San Clemente, and he'll hit you up at 2 p.m. and he'll be like, hey, you free tonight? And you're like, dude, for me to get to San Clemente on a random Wednesday, I have to leave 2 hours ago.
Dude, he texted me. I'm pulling this up now.
Like anybody just on a whim gets in their car and is like, yeah, I'm going to spend 3 hours of traffic right now for $50.
Yeah.
And a fucking
drink
pastrami sandwich.
He texted me last Wednesday at 7:06. So that's Eastern time. Still 4:06. It just said open tonight ? Here's the best part. I respond to him. I don't live in California anymore. He doesn't even respond.
Well, probably be less traffic coming from Ohio.
Dude, he didn't even respond to me saying I don't live in California anymore.
The chances of you making a show in San Clemente with 4 hours notice is about the same chances as somebody making it from LA. You have a better chance of flying into San Diego and driving north than somebody leaving at 4 o'clock and driving south.
So what's your Doug James story?
No, this is apparently the Doug James story. This is insane. Guys, I understand that we're talking about a comedy booker of Irish bar shows in California, but I know we have a lot of people who love it when we talk comedy. So this one is this is an insane story. So apparently in like the 80s, like the early 80s, Doug James is doing comedy in Los Angeles.
Okay.
He goes to the fucking, this is unbelievable. He goes
I'm already laughing.
He goes to the Comedy Store Potluck.
Okay. Which is the open mic night.
Sunday night open mic or something like that. Or I don't know how they did it, but like whatever it was, I don't know if it's potluck or whatever, but whatever it was, he's trying to get on at the Comedy Store. He's trying to get on at the Comedy Store. He's trying to get on at the Comedy Store. Finally, he gets like a night at the Comedy Store. I don't know if it was a thing where like they used to pull names like a week before or something like that. Anyway, he knows a week out or something like that he's got like a 7 o'clock show at the fucking Comedy Store. He takes a full page ad in Variety.
Shut the fuck up.
It's not even
shut the fuck up.
It's not even over yet. It gets way better. He takes a full page ad in Variety promoting his 5-minute or like 3-minute, like
open mic,
not open mic, but like 3-minute, like showcase spot, like where they're going to watch you for 3 minutes and tell you if you suck or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's going to do 3 minutes.
Oh my God.
He does. What do you think that costs in the 80s? It's probably $1,000.
Well, I was going to say, Variety in the 80s would have been so big and so expensive because obviously the internet didn't exist. And like, that's the publication, right? I mean, Variety is that still the bar for the entertainment industry? Like, oh, I got on Variety.
Here's the tweet. I have it. I have the story. All right.
Who tweeted this out?
Augie Smith.
Oh my God.
It's entitled. So he tweeted something. Okay. Binge watched the Comedy Store documentary yesterday. I enjoyed it, but wondered why. No discussion of Brody except for Whitney's t-shirt. No discussion of Andy Kaufman. Didn't tell the Doug James story. Of course, it's easy to criticize. That's why I do it. Somebody wrote underneath the Doug James story ? He quote tweeted it and replied, the Doug James story. Doug is a comic that moved to LA from Boston in the 1980s. After a few months of standing in line and phone calls, the Comedy Store gave him a spot on a Tuesday night show. Doug went all in and took an ad out in Variety. Come see Doug James August 18th at the world famous Comedy Store. Because of the ad, the show started to get a lot of heat, and a bunch of famous people, Jerry Seinfeld, Gary Shandling, etc., called to be on the show.
Shut up.
The show got so popular, Doug James got bumped.
No. Shut up. I did not see that. Shut up. Is that true?
I mean, apparently, and I just know Doug James from, you're going to not point and nod 4 times. So I know you saw it. I only know Doug James from our experiences with Doug James, but apparently this is known as the Doug James story.
That is an all-time.
But isn't it so Doug James?
It is.
Like, I only believe it because it's him.
Oh, dude, that's one of the best stories. That is a legendary, not only just comedy, but Comedy Store story. That's like an all-time story. That is absolutely amazing.
He immediately moved to Huntington Beach and started running bar shows.
I regret now.
I think he lives in LA because I've heard some comics have to take him to the show.
He does. Dude, I regret writing back.
I think it was Nick Cobb who told me, like, don't ever take him to the show.
Yeah.
He's like, you don't want to know what that's like. And I was like, I wouldn't even think of it.
I regret texting him back. I don't live in California anymore. I should have said not available to see, to get the occasional once every 6 months, him trying to book me.
I love out of nowhere. He was just like, Andy Ruther.
Dude, how low was I on his list of comics to book? Like,
you were ahead of me.
Like, was I the 200th comic that he texted that night?
Okay, I feel like Doug James Wall. Do you remember when? Did he do this to you? This is insane. This tangent we've gone on. Did he do this thing to you where after he like had notes written down in a notebook?
Yes. Yeah.
He goes into like a little small notebook and he talks to you about your set. Well, I have a feeling what he does is after he talks to you about your set, he pulls that piece of paper out of his little notebook and he pins it to his wall, and it's got your name and his comments on your set. And I imagine that if you go into his room, it looks like that It's Always Sunny gif where Charlie's in front of the fucking murder wall. And then I think what he does is he wakes up from a dead sleep with a dart in his hand. And before his eyes are open, he just whips it at that wall. And whoever it hits, he just texts them, free tonight.
Oh my God, this is too much. The first time I ever did his show was with you.
Yeah.
We were at that Irish pub.
In Huntington or in San Clemente?
San Clemente. It was a good show. It was all those military Marines, and I was doing all my brother bits.
It's a great show.
And you headlined. They get crushed. Like that was a raucous, lively crowd. Because I remember afterwards, I don't even remember. A bunch of people were buying shots of tequila. You probably don't remember. The one guy was like, he thought me not drinking, talking about it on stage was a bit. And I was like, no, dude, because he bought a bunch of shots. You probably don't know this. You had to do them. I was like, no, dude, I'm not doing these. But what I remember about that night was,
I'm an American hero, so I did them for you.
Yeah. But what I remember about that night was,
a lot of people want to say the Marines were the real heroes there last night, but I had to take 2 people's worth of free tequila shots. So where's my medal?
Well, I don't know if you remember too, a big thing with Doug James is asking who you've worked with.
Oh yeah. He asks you for credits.
Yeah.
And if you don't have credits, he'll be like, who have you worked with? And then he'll be like,
he lies.
Yeah. Well, he turns you worked with to like, he's like, hey, you done it. Like he'll ask you, like, he'll be like, you done any shows? Like, well, I was just on a show with like Louis C.K. at the Improv. And he's like, this next guy is open for Louis C.K.
Yeah,
and
that's like, his move.
I didn't open for him.
That's his move. He says you opened And it's embarrassing because you're like, dude, no, open means this guy brings me on the road.
Yeah.
He did the same thing for me. And I remember, I forget which comic he used. And I was like, dude, I don't open for a comic I bring on stage and I'm hosting.
Like, what's the latest club you did in LA? I'll be like, I did the Improv. He'll be like, this next guy owns the world famous Improv. No, I don't. You just asked where I worked recently.
I forgot that he's got the notes and he critiques your set and then he pays you.
Have you opened for anybody lately? Yeah, I go on the road with Eddie Ift. This next guy wrote Eddie Murphy's stand-up specials. What? How did you get Eddie Murphy?
Do you remember he has a ledger in his notebook? So when he pays you the shitty whatever, like $50,
oh, yeah, in the weirdest, like,
he crosses it off.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
He makes you sign it.
Yeah. So
like it's like a legal document. I just signed a small notebook. You wrote.
God, he makes you sign.
You wrote the number $50 on a small piece of paper. Then you write an X with a line next to it, and I sign it. And you think this is what court is this holding up in?
And not to mention, who's taking this guy to court? Like, yeah, dude, I did a $50 bar show in San Clemente.
And then can you imagine somebody Can you imagine somebody driving back to San Clemente to press charges for the money that they claim they didn't get paid?
It's literally like $50 in a club sandwich. Like that's what you're getting paid. Oh my God. Well,
and don't talk to the waitresses. Don't harass the staff. I think he said one time.
I forgot. Do you remember what he said to me that night?
No.
He was like, oh, because his spiel is don't talk to the waitresses.
I'm like, I need a sandwich, dude.
Dude, I ordered my sandwich and it was a cute waitress, but like I wasn't even hitting on her. And he straight up, dude, because you laughed. Because he was like, oh, you're getting a little friendly with the waitress there. I'm like, dude, I asked her where she's from. Relax.
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't grab her ass. Oh my God. Legend, Doug James.
Well, that's a fun little sidebar in the middle of picks.
Yeah. Well, Dirtballs, we're not getting the calls today because that Comedy Store story is unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable.
That's one of the best comedy stories I've ever heard.
I know.
A full page ad in Variety, and he got bumped.
A half page ad, but still.
But he got bumped for people like Seinfeld because the show got too big and there's too many people there.
He turned a regular Tuesday show into like a fucking big deal and then got bumped off it.
Dude, that's an all-time story.
That has to be where he descended into becoming the Joker. That had to be the moment.
You know what's great? This dude will never hear this because he's no fucking clue what a podcast is.
Oh, no way.
I mean, he's making us sign a notebook ledger that we got paid.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Okay, back to picks. The Saints, it's tough to even do sports now. It really is. I'm not going to lie. I just want to hear more Doug James stories.
Well, there's only the Doug James story.
Yeah, we'll get through it. The Saints travel to Tennessee where the Titans are 2.5-point favorites.
Whose guy is this?
I think you're first. I already know.
I'll take the Titans. The Titans. I mean, what a fucking game last week. I had no faith in them winning that game. Obviously, the NFL is a crazy fucking thing, but the Saints are playing. Or the Saints record, I think, is a lot better than the Saints are. I don't think Trevor, unless Odell signs before Sunday, I don't think I see Trevor Siemian beating the Titans.
Yeah, I know the Saints have a good defense, but this spread is very misleading. This is saying on a neutral field, the Saints are a 0.5-point favorite. I'm just not buying it. I'm going to go with the Titans as well. All right, the Bucs travel to Washington. The Bucs are 9.5-point favorites against the Washington football team, who is just not looking good. They're 2-6, turning the ball over. I'm going to go Bucs win and cover.
Yeah.
You gonna agree?
I agree. It's one of those games. I know we've talked about this with other games. From a better standpoint, you're like, to me, it's crazy. We've had so many big spreads lately and we get burned. It's like, why isn't this 12.5? Why isn't this 11.5? Like, why is it 9.5? What don't I know? And then I'm like, yeah, it's a 2-touchdown game. Yeah, I'm going with the Bucks.
Yeah. All right. The Vikings travel to LA where they are 3-point underdogs against the Chargers. The Vikings keep losing. I think this is a game where they mail it in. I'm going to say Chargers win and cover.
Me too. It's going to be hard to make up games this week if I don't make different picks. I hate the Vikings. I think I like it's just a team. I think I've said all I need to say about it, but it's like even when they fucking I mean, what's the Vikings record at this point?
Won 3 games.
We act like they're not a fucking one of the worst teams in football.
Yeah, and then they're Dalvin Cook's dealing with that wild stuff going out. Did you see that?
Yeah, but I didn't understand it.
I don't really understand it either. They're both claiming they did that to each other. He's claiming he was assaulted by his ex-girlfriend. She's claiming he assaulted her.
But then there was also wasn't there tweets about him and Jadeveon Clowney like keeping girls as hostage? Did you see any of that shit?
Yeah, she's claiming she is claiming
that those were her tweets.
No, she's claiming he kept her hostage. He's claiming she kept him hostage. It's one of the wildest things I've ever heard. So he said that she assaulted him and 2 house guests, that she came in with maced him in the face, and then she pulled a gun and kept him hostage. This is one of the wildest things I've ever heard. So they're both claiming the other kept each other hostage with the gun at gunpoint?
Yeah.
And for that reason, I'm out in the Vikings.
Honestly, my thing is like, and that's a bad story, but also Kirk Cousins is their quarterback. I'm more concerned with Kirk Cousins being their quarterback than him possibly being held at hostage at gunpoint by his girlfriend.
I was going to say, Kirk Cousins is holding Vikings fans hostage right now.
Exactly.
That's what's going on. Okay, the Panthers travel to Arizona. The Panthers are 10.5-point underdogs.
Here we go. This is a fucking game.
I'm up.
I don't know. Are you?
No, you are.
I'm up. I'm going to go with the Panthers. I'm going to go with the Panthers to cover because the Cardinals beating the shit out of the Niners last week made absolutely no sense to me. It made absolutely no sense. Other than, at this point, are the Niners and is Shanahan a fraud? Like, I just don't know what to make of that. So I'm going the zigzag theory. Now they play a randomly close game against the Panthers.
I agree with your theory, but I'm going to counter it and go.
Okay.
Cardinals.
Cool. Great. I like it.
All right. Russell Wilson's back, baby.
He's back, baby.
You know what's crazy? They're only a game out of the playoffs.
Odell Beckham doesn't want. I thought for sure that would be on his list too.
I think, there was chatter at first. They were one of the teams I saw. Seahawks travel to Green Bay. Russell's back, and I think Aaron Rodgers is back. Packers are 3.5-point favorites. Can we do a caveat in this game if involved with Aaron Rodgers?
What if Aaron Rodgers doesn't play?
Yeah,
of course. But like, what is he? Is it possible?
I think it is.
Okay.
If Aaron Rodgers plays, I say Packers win and cover.
And where's the game?
It's in Green Bay. If he doesn't, I'd say Seattle covers.
Russell's back for sure.
Yes. You doing that?
I'm Ruther.
You're going Hawks.
Going Hawks.
Interesting.
I just think a close game. I think Rodgers is a week off. Is he a little sluggish from having dewormer in him? I don't know. I think it's a sluggish start. I'm going one of those fucking Seahawks games. It's, somehow like 12-11. Like you're like, how the fuck did this happen?
He's never won a game at Lambeau, Russell Wilson.
Good. And I don't think he's going to win this one. I think he's going to lose 12-11.
Pete Carroll hasn't won a game at Lambeau since he was a defense. I'm reading this tweet right now. Pete Carroll has not won a game at Lambeau since he was a defensive coordinator a defensive backs coach for the Vikings in 1986.
And I don't think he wins this week. I think he loses 12-11.
But you think he covers?
Yeah. I like that half-point hook. I'm going with a Packers game-winning field goal at the buzzer.
Okay.
For a 3-point win. 12.
Like I said, if you're fine with that, my caveat is on Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
If he plays, I think the Packers.
15-12 Packers.
All right. Eagles travel to Denver.
And if Rodgers doesn't play, what do? We adjust it, or then the whole spread will change.
You know what? That's not fair. You're right. I'll just say Packers.
Okay.
Even though it's going to be such bullshit if Jordan Love plays, and we saw him play last week, it wasn't good. All right, the Eagles travel to Denver. The Broncos are 2.5-point favorites.
My turn?
Yeah.
The Broncos, I stand by Philly not being good. I don't think the Broncos are good, but they showed me something against the Cowboys. They want to stay in the mix in an AFC West that's just fucking bottled up at this point. I'm taking the Broncos to win and cover. I stand by that the Eagles are not good. I think the Eagles having 3 games makes me angry. We know they're not good because they have 3 wins, but no.
Yeah, I think the Broncos win and cover as
Come
well.
on.
Sorry.
Give me one, Andy. That'd be a fun one to fucking root for.
Well, maybe you'll get this one. So the Chiefs travel to the Raiders. Chiefs are 2.5-point favorites. Again, here we are again. So I mentioned it earlier in the show. Tyler did a deep analytical dive on. He titled it, "What is Wrong with Patrick Mahomes?" I think this is actually pretty cool. I'll get this your way. So basically, this year, Mahomes is scrambling more. He's moving outside the pocket more. His receivers are going to have more. This season alone, Mahomes is going to he's going to be sacked the most times. He scrambles the most in his career, and his receivers are going to have the most drops. These are all bad combinations that are all career highs in the negative.
And
way.
First season with a baby. First season with a fiance.
Yeah.
First season with fans in the stadium for his brother to enrage by dancing on literal graves.
Here's an interesting stat, too. The offense is on pace to run the most play action plays in his career.
Which, if you're any team in the NFL, is the cheat code. Unless your team can't run the ball at all, then why the fuck are you bothering?
Yeah.
They should go full Tim Couch at Kentucky.
Yeah.
Let's go 5 wide the entire time.
The Hal Mummy days. Remember when he was the coach? Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
and honestly,
also.
I really think that's what they should do. You remember the whole thing with that offense? There was 5 plays.
Yeah.
That's what Patrick Mahomes needs right now. 5 fucking plays that can be twisted and variabled into 25 different combinations, all from a fucking 5 wide set of some, put 4 on one side and 1 on the other. Do whatever. Just keep it fucking simple and let him throw the fucking ball down the field. Why are you pretending to play action when you don't have a running back that can get a fucking positive yard?
Well, they're 2.5-point favorites. Who do you like in this one?
I like the Kansas City Chiefs to win and cover. God, the Raiders have gotten the Raiders magic of like, you know, them losing a coach to a fucking email scandal, losing a receiver to a fucking, you know, car accident, murder. Then them losing some other guy because he's fucking threatening people on Instagram with a gun.
Arnett, by the way, he was 7 picks after Ruggs. So they're 12th and 19th pick. The 20
them like pushing through. It's over. They lost to the fucking Giants. Blood in the water for Kansas City. Blood in the water. They had blood in the water in Green Bay. They barely, but that's what they're going to, I really feel like they're not good, but that's what they're going to do is if they stockpile these like little janky fucking shitty situation wins, suddenly you get a little confidence. And the next thing you know, we're fucking dealing with the Chiefs again.
Yeah. Well, it's tough for me not to take them for all those reasons I was thinking as well. I mean,
I look ahead to week 11, ESPN app. They already have a line, Kansas City favored at home next week against the Cowboys. And then they get a fucking bye.
The Chiefs?
Yeah.
If they won the next 2 games, they'd be 7-4 and heading into bye. They'd be in really good position.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's kind
of
annoying, right?
Yeah, so we're both going to take the Chiefs. All right, this next one for me is a no-brainer, and I just don't know why it's so low. The Rams are 4-point favorites in San Francisco. I'm saying Rams all day in that.
Yeah, I am saying it too, and I think the reason is it's so low is because
the Rams played like shit.
The Rams played like shit, and then San Francisco played like shit last week, so like something's got to give, and now they play like a fucking close game.
The Rams still have a great defense. I mean, Titans, I think I saw the stat. The Titans only had 178 yards.
The thing about the Rams is like, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Rams have had some lackluster performances this year so far, but I feel like they've bounced back with like severity.
They do.
Right? Am I wrong in that?
I think you're right. I'm not too worried. I think the Rams win and cover. Okay, those are week 10 picks. Again, we're not going to get the calls. 310-359-8365. If you guys have any Doug James stories, please call the hotline because I would love to hear more about Doug James.
I got to get to bed because I got to get up early for a big, manly Jeep Wrangler ride to fucking Key West, which is apparently very, very close to here, but it's still going to take us 5 hours.
Hey, man, I get it. I got to get to bed too. It's late for me.
Thank you for doing this, Andy.
Of course.
Thank you, Dirtballs, for staying up late with us. Does anybody watch this live?
I'm sure there's a few.
Thank you, Dirtballs, for coming out to shows. Like I said earlier on, give me a heads up before you come to shows. I'm happy to take a picture with you. I'm happy to have a Miller Lite with you. So hit me up. We'll be in Key West tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. I have some other shows coming up real soon that I can't officially announce yet, but will be announced soon. But you can always stay on joeprano.com for dates. Follow me on Instagram. That's probably the best place to find out where I'll be performing, at Joe Prano on Instagram and all other social medias except for Twitter, where I'm at Fix Your Life. So follow me, please, and drink Miller Lite and tag me in your social media posts about you drinking Miller Lite on all those social medias.
All right. Well, that's our show. Let's wrap it up. Thanks for sticking around. I love the off the tangent shows and just ridiculousness. All right, guys. Much love to the Dirtball fam. We'll be back on Monday. And as always, stay